So brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, mighty indeed are the plots of the enemies of Islam. Those people who seek to devour our property, destroy our religion, bomb our wives and children, and make our lands desolate except for their uses. Anytime we have water, anytime we have oil, anytime we have some natural resources that we might use for our own personal African or Asian or Indian or any kind of other development, the forces of evil, which today we will name them as Western colonialism and Western neo-colonialism. We're here today in front of Sudanese Embassy because the continuation of the plots from hundreds of years ago is still in force under a new guise. Same old criminal activity. What is that criminal activity? That we want to subdue your land, subdue your people, rape your resources, use your own God-given resources that Allah have given you for their benefit. If you want to know what the problem is today in Sudan, Sudan have two big problems. The first big problem is that it is a desert country, an African Islamic country, as they say. Sudanese say we're African and we're Islamic. And when you go to Sudan, you will see it in the culture, in the language, in everything, that the people are indeed African. What they have is their cultural life, the Islamic life, have been incorporated into their daily life. So when you go to Sudan, you will see a society, especially in the north, that is basically African and Islamic. If you turn on the news and you hear about slavery in the Sudan, light-skinned Arabs enslaving black Sudanese, Muslim Sudanese, slaughtering and killing Christian and non-Arab Sudanese, you are hearing a pretext of Western colonialism. Whenever the United States wants to steal something from you, he always sets you up, isn't that right? So if you go back in America to the Mexican War, you will find that the United States blamed something on Mexico, invaded Mexico in the 1840s, and stole Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, California. A few years before, they had already stole Texas. They stole 1/4 of the United States as it is today from the United States of Mexico, right? But they blame it on Mexicans. So anytime that they want to take something from somebody, they have to find a legal justification. The United States government is a thief, a robber, a murderer, and a killer, and they want to invade the Sudan. So they have to set the Sudanese up, just like they did the Mexicans. When the United States want to become a colonial worldwide empire, we all remember the Maine, isn't that right? And what the Maine? The Maine sunk, blown up in Havana Harbor. They blamed it on Spain and stole Puerto Rico, isn't that right? Stole the Philippines, the Virgin Islands. They stole it. They took it from the people. How did they take it from the people? How did this criminal, rotten, low-down United States government, who employs poor whites and blacks and stick uniforms on them, dumb, ignorant American youth that can't get a job, they stick a sheriff's badge on them, a police badge on them, or something, and then they send them out in our neighborhood to kill us, right? And then they stick a uniform on them to send them overseas to kill other people. But they have to set the people up before they can kill them. When they wanted to build a canal, right, they just ran down to Central America, right? Gunboat diplomacy, and they cut off a piece of Colombia, and they call it what? Panama. Never existed. You go back over 100 years ago, it wasn't until about 1904 or something when they wanted to build a canal, they go down there, start a problem with the poor, weak people of Colombia, and still cut a line. Look at here. Panama is not no bigger than this street, Harley. That's a strip, isn't that right? That's all they wanted. To build a canal where? Right where the isthmus was. So they stole it from them. So the United States, they steal, they rob, and they murder. You've heard of Allen Dulles, Milton Eisenhower, United Fruit Company, and they'll hire any stooge, any dummy that will work for them. The United States government will hire him, isn't that right? They hired Noriega. Sell dope for him, change money for him, do anything he wants. Then after his job is over, they stick him in a penitentiary, they invade Panama and kill the poor people of Panama. When they want Saddam Hussein to fight against the revolution in Iran, they hire him on, isn't that right? Give him everything he needs, blow him up, boost him up, so he can fight against the Islamic Republic of Iran. After his job is all done, isn't that right? He's no more use to them. Then they invade him. First time. Then they realize, wait a minute, we left all that oil there, we forgot. We got to go back, isn't that right? And then we have this new world order, isn't that right? The same old scheme from the time of Rome, from the time of Britain, the same scheme of the Nazis. All of these ideas of global worldwide rule is something that come out of that diseased European mind, isn't that right? The glory of Rome. And they write about Rome like it was a great place. Rome was a murdering, butchering, killing machine that marched all over the world of color, dominating people, isn't that right? The glory of the British Empire, right? The British Empire is the ones that fought directly against Muslims more than anybody. Of course, the French, Portuguese, all of them did. But I'm telling you, it was the bloody British. Now, they try to say that the Americans and the British are civilized. Isn't that right? That they're civilized and those people over there are savages. Well, let me tell you something. It is not those people over there who are savages. It is the United States government that is savages. And if all of these Uncle Tom preachers can run around here and say what they want on any radio station, we are going to stop and we're going to continue our khutbah right on this, whether the police or anybody else like it or not. Why? Because they done lied on us. Then they're going to run around here and want to check. These other bums can do anything they want. Television can say anything they want. And then here come the police walking around here. We are not going to stop this khutbah. I don't care what the paperwork says. We're going to finish what we have to say. Back to old Sam. Bloody jaws, rotten, criminal United States government. What does he do? When he wants to take your land, he has to find a reason to take your land. The Sudanese people, Sudan is the biggest physical country in Africa.